You know, the title of this movie is very appropriate because you can watch the rental by renting it. Okay, I'm sorry, that wasn't good. Sorry you all had to pay the price. The Rental stars Dan Stevens, Alison Brie, Sheila Vand, and Jeremy Allen White as two couples who rent an Airbnb vacation home in the countryside as a celebration for a big work accomplishment. Though things are not well among the four of them going into the weekend, and tensions slowly rise. All the while, they begin to suspect that the owner of the house, played by Toby Huss, may be spying on them. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But today, let's talk about The Rental. This is the directorial debut of Dave Franco, who also co-wrote the screenplay with Joe Swanberg, and they both co-produced the film. I like to go in with an open mind and try to be optimistic when it comes to actors stepping behind the camera. I'd like to think, since they already know what it takes to be on the other side, the transition over shouldn't be that bumpy. And Franco proves my point, at least from a technical view. I found this to be a very well-directed movie. Taking place in the countryside, we're treated to some beautiful shots of the woods, characters along the beach, the mountains, among many other things. And I like that he went with horror for his first directorial outing. He shows he has an eye for the genre. It's clear he watches a lot and he wears his influences on his sleeve. For example, one thing I noticed within the first few minutes is a shot of our four main characters driving up to the house, and it reminded me a lot of the opening scene of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. And sure enough, I was reading an interview before making this review, and he clearly states The Shining was one of his influences when making this. He doesn't go for an exact recreation of the film. The plots are completely different, as is the score, which is eerie in its own right, doing a great job of setting up tension, but it was nice to see little homages like that thrown in there. I also appreciate he doesn't go for jump scares, which is something that plagues a lot of horror movies to this day, despite being one of the most tiring tropes in the book. I really don't like them, and he avoids them here. He goes for creating suspense both through the isolated setting as well as the rising conflict among our four main characters. There are a handful of moments where something may appear suddenly, but they're not accompanied by that obnoxious loud noise you typically hear with jump scares, so great job there. And while the tension is meticulously crafted, this isn't a slow movie. It's just under 90 minutes and it moves pretty quickly. We get invested in these characters right from the beginning. They all have charismatic personalities, and as a result, we're interested to see all this drama unfold among them. There are two main sources of conflict established early on. It's stated that when Sheila Vand attempted to book the house, her request was denied, but when Dan Stevens tries not too long after, for the exact same time period, he gets accepted. And it's suspected that she was denied due to her nationality. So now it feels very awkward and uneasy that they're now at the house and they have to deal face to face with Toby Huss, who may be a bigoted piece of crap and he may be hostile to them for no valid reason. On top of all this, you have Dan Stevens and Alison Brie as one couple, while Jeremy Allen White and Sheila Vand make up the other couple. Jeremy Allen White is Dan Stevens' younger brother, but Sheila Vand and Dan Stevens are also co-workers who have an extremely close relationship. The first time we see them, she's resting her arms on his shoulder as they're looking at houses online, and Jeremy Allen White feels jealous of this and he keeps thinking she may end up leaving him. And all four actors do a great job with the material. They all feel very natural and they played off each other well. There was a lot of great chemistry. Alison Brie, while she had arguably the least to do among the main four, was great. I've mainly seen her in comedies, but I think she's on her way to having a very promising career as a dramatic actress, and I'm very excited to see more from her. Dan Stevens, as always, is top-notch. He's very charming, he's great at taking control of each situation, and can usually talk his way out of a lot, so it was always intriguing to see him in action. Plus, it was nice to see Jeremy Allen White in a prominent movie role. I'm a big fan of his work from Shameless. I think his arcs on that show are the best. His character here feels a little similar to his Shameless character, but it works well, and I hope to see him take on more roles in film. Sheila Vand, I've never actually seen her in anything before this, but I gotta say, she gives by far my favorite performance. She's involved in the most amount of conflict, and seeing her have to juggle with not one, but two very uneasy situations and trying to stay put together through all of it had me on the edge of my seat a few times. Unfortunately, for as many great things as there were about this film, this ended up being a disappointment for me, mainly for its last half hour or so. The film builds up a lot of great ideas and sets up some very interesting scenarios. I won't spoil what happens, but it turns out some of of the things it was building towards were not really what they seem. And I don't know if Franco thought this was supposed to be clever, but it takes an abrupt twist, and normally I have no issue with sudden plot twists, but in this case, the twist causes the film to abandon a lot of what it was building towards. Plot lines get halted or dropped, and essentially it means that our time was wasted because nothing from that first hour ends up meaning anything. Whereas that first act did a great job of mixing family drama with eerie, stalker-like suspense, the last half hour turns into a generic slasher movie and it feels out of nowhere. And it's not even like I have a hatred of slasher movies or anything. Despite the shift in tone, as abrupt as it was, I could have rolled with the change of pace, but the last half hour just makes everything leading up to it feel irrelevant. And it does this big reveal towards the end like it's supposed to shock us, but it's honestly nothing special and just left me asking a lot of questions, and I don't mean that in a good way. As soon as the movie ended, my immediate thought was, yeah, that was still good. It could have been great if it wasn't for that ending. But as it sat with me more, even for just like an hour or so afterwards, I found myself saying this was on its way to being something great, and because of that ending, it wound up being a massive waste of time. I didn't hate this movie, but I found myself very disappointed by it. I think Dave Franco has a promising career as a horror director. It's clear he knows what he's doing behind the camera, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Plus, you have some great performances from 4 very likable actors, and there's some solid suspense and thrills brought up. But that last half hour really derailed the experience for me. It just makes everything before it feel pointless, and because of that, it can lead you to feel very frustrated. At least that's how I felt. It's on VOD for like $6. I'd give it a mild recommendation for that first hour or so if you really want to check it out, but honestly, there's a lot better movies out there. The Rental gets a 6 out of 10. Stay tuned. In the meantime, I'll have the next part of my Christopher Nolan series out soon, where I'll be talking about The Prestige. Very excited to talk about that one. Look forward to that within the next few days, as well as some reviews of newer films coming out soon. So let me know, did you see The Rental, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you find it scary? Did you like the performances? And do you prefer staying in Airbnbs or hotels? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussions, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.